Hi everyone, it's Julie from Sprouts and Stems here. Today's video is going to be 5 tips to know when to water your plants so that you don't overwater and kill them, because we've all done that and we all know that that's relatively easy to do. So I've got my terrarium here just for a little bit of background, but it's not going to be about one specific plant today. These are just going to be general helpful tips. Please subscribe to my channel for more planty content and give this video a like if you like it, or just do it right now because that'd be cool. And please also check out my Patreon that I just recently launched. The link is in the description. Also, I'm pretty sure you've seen me in this outfit before, depending on when I'm posting this, but I'm trying to batch film a few videos today, so don't judge me for being an outfit repeater. Let's get into the 5 tips for watering your plants so that you don't kill your plants. So first, I just want to say that everybody struggles sometimes with watering plants. Don't feel bad if you've overwatered and killed a plant, because we've all done it. And knowing when to water your plants is actually something that is hard. It's not just a you thing. It is hard to know because they can't tell us when they're thirsty. They can't vocalize anything. So it is hard to know. And it's something that you just learn more over time as you take care of more plants. So don't feel bad. Just wanted to say that at first. And the first tip is to feel the soil before you actually go in and start dumping water on your plants. Plants don't need to be watered on a set schedule. I know we want to be able to write down on our calendar every Sunday morning, water plants. Unfortunately, it can't always work out that way, that everything needs to be watered on every Sunday morning. You can definitely check, like put on your calendar to check every Sunday or whatever day. So you always just want to feel and assess the moisture level before dumping water on your plants. My second tip is understanding your plant's needs. And I mean that on both a species level, like species wise, and also just in your individual plant in your home wise. While desert plants like to dry out and then be totally like poured on as if they're in a rainstorm, jungle plants like to have like constant moisture, not necessarily wet, but just constant moisture. They don't ever want to completely dry out. They like humidity. And so maybe instead of drenching them every time you water, you just water like a little bit at a time. So just understanding the basic needs of the species and how you can best replicate that in your home. But then also, your home has different environmental factors that affect that. For example, if it is, let's see, if it's like the middle of the summer and you have air conditioning that is blasting throughout your home, or in the winter and you have a plant that's like right underneath a heat vent, they're going to be drying out a lot faster and will probably need to be watered even more often than in their like natural habitat. So basically, like temperature and light level, time of year, climate, you might have to adjust your watering based off of your home environmental factors as opposed to like whatever the species would normally want in the wild. And this is just something that you'll learn over time as you spend more time getting to know your plants and caring for them and you have them for longer. These are just things you'll start to notice when your plant is happy versus when it's unhappy. And over time, you'll just develop a good watering rhythm for your plant. Another way to know when your plant needs to be watered is that it'll be droopy. So, and this is more obvious on some plants than others. A monstera or a pothos or something, if it's getting a little too dry, you will see that the leaves are starting to like get a little bit the stem's a little bit droopy and the leaves a little bit curly. And then once they're watered and those stems and leaves fill back up with water, the plant will be happy again and nice and perky. My ripple peperomia is like extremely dramatic when it gets too dry. Even for plants that it's not necessarily obvious on, you will, like I said before, like once you get to know your plants and kind of are like seeing them every day and looking at them all the time, you'll be able to tell when something is droopy versus when it's well watered and nice and perky. Chinese evergreens that I just recently did a video on are pretty like relatively obvious in my opinion. Leaves are like that, and then when you water them, they're like that. Just remember that stems and leaves are full of water, and so when they're not full of water, they will deflate, and when they are full of water, they'll go like this again. This is another thing that you will notice over time: the weight of your plant's pot. If something is completely and totally bone dry, you're going to pick it up and it'll feel like an empty pot, basically. If something is super saturated, it's going to be heavy. I would say this is relatively like easy to notice. You just obviously actually have to like pick up your plant. There's not really much to that one. Just, pick up your plant from time to time, maybe like give it like a hug or something, just so you can get used to how it feels when it's well watered. And my last tip I put last because it's not, I would say this one is the one that's like not necessarily foolproof to know that like your plant needs to be watered, but a general sign that like something is wrong and it could be indicative of long-term stress. If your plant has crispy brown leaves or yellow leaves or just generally looks bad, brown crispy leaves are a good indicator that it's too dry, either from the potting mix or maybe the air is too dry and it's getting a little bit crispy. Yellow leaves are often a sign of overwatering, but they can be underwatering and a lot of other things. Like yellow leaves can be indicative of your plant is just unhappy in some way, so it's time to check it out and see what's wrong. And I'm not talking like one or two yellow leaves, like that happens if you have like one or two overwatering sessions or something. But yeah, so I put this one last because it's not necessarily like your plant needs to be watered, but I do think it's a good, like I said, indicator that something is wrong and that it's possibly some kind of like long-term stress. Like maybe you haven't been watering it as much as you should for like a while now. So maybe it's time to check in with your watering schedule. Your plant needs some TLC in some way. So those are my 5 tips for knowing when your plant needs water so that you don't overwater or underwater and kill your plant. I hope you got something out of this. If you have any other helpful watering tips, please definitely comment that so we can all help each other out. And yeah, if you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel and check out my Patreon. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Bye.